Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Hello, everyone. My name is Frances, and I am a trusted senior travel advisor with Stewart Travel Group here in Charlottetown, PEI. And I am thrilled to welcome you to our event tonight, where we're going to be talking all about Morocco, which is one of my new favorite destinations. We'll get started. So what we're going to do tonight is first I'll introduce you to Stewart Travel Group. So if you don't know who we are, Stewart Travel Group is a local boutique agency here in Charlottetown, and we have advisors in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. We also have an advisor in Quebec and an advisor working in Germany. And so we are globally, we service our clients globally. We're trusted by clients, both in Canada and around the world. And I'm sure we've met many of you at our in-person events that we often do here in PEI. And so our passion is bringing these incredible places around the world to life for you, whether you're traveling with us on a hosted group tour or you are going to join us and do your own travel planning. So really excited to be here today and to welcome you to the Stewart Travel Group family. Today, we are going to talk about Morocco. So in November of this year, from the 4th to the 14th, I'll be hosting a very small group of 11 people plus me. So it's 12 of us total to explore Morocco. And we're going to do that on a National Geographic Journeys trip. And I have a very special guest with me tonight who is going to tell us all about that itinerary. And this is a little map of it, but I know we're going to get through and go through all of that shortly. So really excited to share that with you. But my surprise for you is I want to tell you a little bit about my own trip. So I was in Morocco at about the same time of year last year as we're going to be going this year. I was there from the 9th to the 16th, and you're going to see two lines on the map. So this line, I started in Casablanca and went up to Tangier, down to Chefchaouen, to Fez, and then down to Marrakech. So my routing was a little bit different than what we're going to do, but there were a number of key destinations that I visited that we're also going to visit. I'm going to share some insights with you about that. For our trip, we're going to start in Casablanca. We're going to head to Fez, down to Merzouga, to Tinagir, Ouarzazate, and then over to Marrakech. So let me tell you about the few places that I went that we're going to be going this coming November. So we started in Casablanca, and Casablanca is this famous city that everyone wants to visit. And many of the Moroccans will probably tell you that it's not the place that they go. They go for a year or two to work. It's really the business center of the country. It's a bit colder, and it's really different than the rest of the country. It was a completely 180-degree difference for me being in Casablanca to start, and then going to Fez and Chefchaouen and Tangier and even to Marrakech. And I think you're going to find the same. I was really pleased that I started my trip in Casablanca. And the big attraction in Casablanca is this mosque that you see on the right-hand side. And this is the Hassan II Mosque. And it is the largest in Morocco, the largest in Africa. I believe it may be the second largest in Africa. And it's enormous. They can fit tens of thousands of people inside. And then this large plaza you're seeing, they can fit many, many more people. We also went to the Medina. We went to a local bakery. And that top picture in the middle is a community oven. And so people will bring their bread to this community oven and the baker bakes it for them for a few dinar. So that was a really neat experience and I had no idea. We also went and saw Arab League Park, which is this urban, really curated park that I didn't expect. We went to an art gallery close by. We saw the Church of the Sacred Heart, which is this massive white cathedral that's now not used as a church. It's used as an event space. Of course, we went to see Rick's Cafe, famous from the movie Casablanca, and to the King's Palace. So this picture of me in the middle here is me having my very first mint tea, and you will get so much mint tea, but it is, I'm a coffee girl, and I don't have a tea every day, but certainly when I was in Morocco, I had mint tea all the time. It becomes not only a refreshment, but a ceremony, a social component. It's how people invite you in and make you feel welcome. And it's delicious. And so, it's basically a green tea with a lot of fresh mint, and the Moroccans like their sugar. So lots of sugar in it for them, but you can have it without sugar as well. And then we went to an olive market, which is this picture down here. I have never in my life seen this many kinds of olives. It was really, really amazing. And they were also all delicious. So the next place that I'm going to show you is Fez. So we were in Fez, and the Medina itself. So the Medina in every one of the towns or cities that we go to is the old town, the old village, the non-European part of that town. And in Fez, there are 120,000 people living in the Medina, and there are 3,000 mosques just in the Medina. And so when you hear the call to prayer, which you hear multiple times during the day, it's really an incredible experience. And something I learned in Morocco while I was there is that in Morocco, the call to prayer is not allowed to be recorded. And so every time you hear the call to prayer, it is live. The imam is on the microphone doing the call to prayer, and you'll hear it, asynchronously. It's just amazing to hear. When we go to the Medina, you've probably seen pictures of the famous Fez tannery. I did happen to buy a jacket when I was there. There's many more things I could have bought, and I will probably make a purchase while we're there in November. We also went to the mosaic and pottery shop. And so this gentleman is sitting here carving tiles by hand. It was really incredible. And these are some of the pieces that they saw. I was obviously blown away by what we saw. We'll see spices and markets. We'll see all the beautiful tile work. This is on the King's Palace, and she was our tour guide. She was amazing. And then we had a beautiful lunch in the Medina. This is a salad. This is what they would call a salad. And then the third place that I just want to hit on is the community of Marrakech, where we did a tagine cooking class. And so this tagine, I had a hand in making. It was amazing. So at the cooking class, we did, one group did a chicken, one group did a lamb, one group did a beef, and ours was a vegetable tagine. And so tagine is the pot that you probably all know is sort of the rounded cone clay top, and traditionally cooked over coals. And it is absolutely delicious. And I probably had it every day, sometimes twice a day when I was there, because it is that good. It's not spicy. It's a very sweet meat dish. And I'm not a fruit and meat kind of person. It's not like that, but it is a sweeter meat. The meat is so tender and so good. And you can also have vegetable as well. We also saw some evidence in Marrakech of the earthquake that you would have heard. So this building is now being propped up completely. This is a mint stand. That's all they sell is different kinds of mint in the Medina. And in Marrakech, you know, in Casablanca, all the buildings are sort of white and gray and concrete colored. And in Marrakech, they're all red and this color, basically. So it was just really neat to see the stark contrast. And these are some of the components of dyes that they use and spices as well. So for me, I absolutely loved my trip. The people were so warm and friendly. And seeing all of the different parts of not Marrakech, of Marrakech, of course, but of Morocco, really will stick with me for a lifetime. I really, really enjoyed it. And so now I'm going to introduce Anna. So Anna is joining us from G Adventures, and she is going to tell us a little bit about the itinerary that we're going to do. So welcome, Anna.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, it's very much so love Morocco. I was there a few years ago, and feel very lucky to have had the opportunity to go with G Adventures. So yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about Morocco G Adventures, but just before we get there, I will just kind of tell you a little bit about G Adventures and Nat Geo, just so you kind of like know what you're signing up for. So just kind of like, a few reasons what you love G Adventures, why you will love traveling with us. Small groups. So as Francis said, this is a very small group that you'll be traveling with. We always like to keep our group small. It's just a better way, in our opinion, to see the world. We keep our group small so you can get ridiculously close to the world. And that's something that we've always done. It's not new to us. We've always just kind of liked a small group travel. Locally based guides. Anywhere that you travel with us, we're always going to have local guides. Something that I always like to think about is, like, for me, like I'm based in Calgary. If somebody comes to visit me in Calgary, I'm going to give them the best tips, like best restaurants, when to go somewhere, when maybe to avoid a certain area. We always have the best tips as, locals, and our guides are going to have the best inside information for you as well. And they're always very proud of their country. So it's the same when you're traveling to their countries, in this case, Morocco, they're going to have the best inside information for you. And we're very proud of that, and they're very proud of their country. So we call our guides Chief Experience Officers, CEO for short, and they know the destination like the back of their hand. They, like I said, they take a lot of pride in their countries and their cities, and they're going to give you the best tips. They're going to also help you with translation, especially a place like Morocco. Various different languages are spoken there, and they're always going to be there to help you, to support you, to give you the best tips so you have the best experience. Lots of freedom and flexibility. Our trips are built with a lot of freedom, so you get to explore at your own pace, but with a lot of information, a lot of like things for you to also get the best out of your itinerary as well. And something that's really, really important to us, and something that's very dear to our hearts, is we're built to support local communities. When you travel with us, more of the money that you're spending is actually staying in the pockets of the communities that you're visiting. So wherever we go, we're always very welcome. We're well received because we're there to support the communities that you're visiting. All right, so now that you know a little bit about us, let's talk about Morocco. Let's talk about this wonderful trip that you're hopefully going to be signing up here. So Journeys Morocco highlights, what you can expect. I'm going to take you kind of like day by day with the itinerary here. Brief, kind of overview here, what you can expect. You see the map here again. You're going to roam some ancient markets. You're going to ride into the desert on a 4x4, see the Atlas Mountains, and you're going to have a delicious cooking class that I am very, very jealous about. First day, easy day. You're going to arrive in Casablanca, and you're going to see there's the beautiful mosque here that Francis had mentioned. Beautiful city, very, very different than the rest of Morocco. But if you arrive a day early, or if you have the time to roam, definitely worth a visit. Just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful city. The colors is just amazing. It's just, I know I'm going to say this word a lot because there's no other way to describe Morocco. It's amazing. The people, the food, the smells even. It's just a truly, truly amazing place. But yeah, so day one, pretty easy day. There's going to be a welcome meeting with your CEO, and they're just kind of go over the expectations. They're going to kind of run you over the itinerary, what to expect. If you have any questions, they're going to be the best point of contact, and they're going to help you out on that first welcome meeting. Day two, you're going to travel from Casablanca to Fez. You're going to start your day early. You're going to set out on a guided tour of 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. You're going to first visit the remains of the medieval city of Meknes, which you can see right here. So Mecca was served as Morocco's imperial capital city in the 17th century. So you're going to visit this. Just beautiful again, like just truly amazing to see that this has been here since the 17th century. And then secondly, you're going to venture into Bolivalis, which I always say a little bit wrong because there's a lot of consonants here, but it's a truly amazing place. You're going to discover its beautiful columns, and it's just getting ahead of myself here. It's just an absolutely beautiful place that you get to discover here in Morocco. And then after, as you continue your way into Fez, you're going to have your G for good moment. So like I said, we always like to give back to the communities that you visit, and this is your chance to do that. So you're going to have lunch at these G Adventure supported women's cooperative before you continue into Fez. And this is just a really beautiful place. I had the opportunity, I was very lucky to have lunch here. It was one of the best meals I had in Morocco. And like I said, it's just a way to give back to the community. So you get to have one of the best meals that you'll have on the trip as you get to give back to the local community. Day 3, you're going to have a full day in Fez. It's like really stepping back into time as you get to tour the Medina in Fez. Is, like again, another World Heritage Site that's dating back to the 9th century. You're going to skirt past some donkey carts as you take in the dazzling sights from all the colorful spices, the walls. Like, it's just honestly like absolutely beautiful place. Like, just look at that. You're going to visit, obviously, the tanneries. And one of the really cool places about Fez is you get to visit the world's longest continually operating university in the world. So really, really amazing experience. And as Francis was saying, it's a really good place for shopping. Definitely was a little bit guilty of that. So if you want to get yourself anything leather, whether it's a jacket, a purse, shoes, anything that you want, it is really, really great place to get it. And then the best thing is nobody else will have the same thing as you. Day 4, you're going to completely change scenery as you leave Fez behind and you travel into Merzouga, into the desert. So the scenery is going to start changing. You're going to start kind of seeing like the Atlas Mountains as you make your way into the Casbah style hotel in the desert. So very, very, like, I was honestly amazed when I went to Morocco. I didn't realize, first of all, how big the country is, but how much the scenery changes as you go from one place to the other. So you're going to kind of change the scenery as you stay in this beautiful property right on the outskirts of the desert. So very different from Fez into Merzouga. As like I said, you're into the desert now. Day 5, the day is going to start on a very thrilling adventure. You're going to set off on a 4x4 excursion in the desert. So you really get to just kind of see the desert, experience the desert, which is one of the really cool things about Morocco, is just going right into the Sahara. You're going to visit the village of Kamila, where you'll get to meet these beautiful musicians, which is a really beautiful part of the Moroccan culture. And you get to learn about the history of these musicians, and you also get to talk and meet the barbers. Like, you get to meet nomads of Morocco, and you get to talk to them. You get to share mint tea with them, and you get to really just learn about completely different cultures than us by sharing something as simple as tea with them, which I honestly, when I was there, was one of my favorite experiences, because it's something we don't really get to do when we travel. Is just a lot of times we don't get to talk to locals about something that's very different life experiences than us. So you're going to have that amazing experience as you continue into Tingir. Day 6, you're going to be in Tingir and transferring into Ouarzazate. I always butcher this word because, again, Moroccan words are hard for my Spanish brain here, but I do my best, I promise. This is a really, really unique place. Again, the scenery is just kind of like always changing from one place to the other. You're going to venture into the Dates Gorge, which is very dramatic. You see all these beautiful rock formations. You're going to continue along the road of 1,000 Casbahs. Again, just look at this. One of the things that I remember thinking when I was in Morocco is, like, I would be standing somewhere and be like, was this photoshopped? But no, it's just your eyes. And you see one of the most beautiful scenery, some of the most beautiful sunsets that you've seen. It is truly, truly amazing. Morocco is honestly just blew my mind. Something that you get to see here is in Ouarzazate, they have Morocco's largest film studio. And they have probably filmed a lot of your favorite movies or TV shows here. Like, they have Game of Thrones, The Odyssey, Gladiator, not the new one, but the old Gladiator, Kingdom of Heaven, The Mummy, Lords of Arabia, among many other films and TV shows that were filmed at this studio. And you get to go and see and just kind of like pretend that you're in a big, movie yourself, which is really, really cool. And then you have this again, the scenery, you got the palm trees now. It's just absolutely beautiful. And then after that, after you get to go to the movie studio, you get to you can choose to take a lesson with a traditional MSIG, well, again, I apologize if I'm saying this wrong, which is a medical local herbalist. So if you want to learn about local herbs that, might be good for you, like, the traditional way for them to like do things. I also did this when I was in Morocco, and it was really, really interesting, very amazing experience. So you can see them here. Definitely recommend that. Day 7, you're going to continue your travels into Marrakech. You can discover very magical twisting lanes of 8 Benedou. This picture here really doesn't do it justice to how magical these roads are. Don't let it scare you. It's absolutely amazing. You're going to go visit another UNESCO World Heritage. Honestly, you're going to lose track of how many World Heritage sites you see on this tour. It is truly amazing. It's how many there are in Morocco and how many you get to see. And then you continue along the High Atlas, How Mountain Rose into Marrakech. See, the scenery is just ever changing, ever so beautiful. Once you get into Marrakech, you're going to have a little bit of free time just to kind of like admire this melting pot that is Marrakech. There's so many different cultures that kind of just all kind of combine here. You have the Amazigh, you have West African and Mediterranean and Arab influences all come together in Marrakech, making it a truly, truly unique destination. So you're going to have a little bit of free time to just kind of enjoy Marrakech. Let me just kind of skip here. And then before dinner, or your guide is going to take you off the beaten path into hidden neighborhoods and artisan quarters in Marrakech. And this is one of the really beautiful things about doing group travel sometimes, is that you get to go into places that you might not necessarily find if you're traveling on your own. These places, only like maybe a local or like your local guide would know, and it's just Marrakech is really popular for a reason. It's absolutely beautiful. It's, people want to go there. So it's nice to get off the beaten path and going to like finding these hidden gems, these hidden neighborhoods, and just seeing something really unique about Morocco and Marrakech. Day 8 in Morocco, you're going to have the full day there. You're going to visit a historic Riyadh, and this is where you're going to have a hands-on cooking class. So get ready for like the beautiful smell of the spices, and just you're going to be making that face as you're tasting your own tagine, your own delicacy that you've made with a, renowned Moroccan chef. As Francis said, tagine is amazing. I had tagine every day, sometimes twice a day when I was in Morocco, and I still think about it. I wish I could have like the tagines that I had in Morocco. So what better way to just kind of bring that home as to learn how to make it. You buy the little tagine, buy the spices, and then you know how to make it, and then whenever you're missing Morocco, you get to just make it at home. So you're going to make your tagine, and that will be your lunch for the day. And then, the rest of the day, you just kind of get to enjoy, you get to walk around the main square and just kind of take it all in. Marrakech is really an awesome place. The main square is amazing. It's truly like, I really, really wish I could go back, have some more mint tea, and just really, really just explore. But yeah, just kind of wanted to highlight some of the photos there. And then day 9 is kind of where the tour ends and you say goodbye. So day 9 is just, you get to like go whenever you're ready. And then I wanted to kind of just show you again some of the highlights here. But yeah, that's just kind of like the rundown of the itinerary.
Thank you so much. All right. So don't go anywhere. Because I'm just going to give everyone a little bit of information about the tour itself. So I am thrilled to go back to Morocco. The reason I went last year was because I wanted to be ready to go this year and have experienced the place. So we're going from November 4th to 14th. The 4th would be the day that we leave Canada, and the 14th is the day we return. So I'm going to be the host, and the cost of the trip is $3,990 per person. And that is either double or sharing a room with a roommate. And G Adventures doesn't have a single supplement. So if you're solo and you want to come on this trip, you pay $3,990 per person, and we will try and match you with a roommate of the same sex. If you would rather have your own room, then there's a single supplement called your My Own Room supplement. And for this tour, it would be $1,329. All of the inclusions are listed, and Anna did an amazing job going through all of the details of what we're going to see, what's included in this trip. So our chief experience officer, all our local guides, all our airport transfers, all of our experience in the Sahara, our cooking class, the community lunch, which is always the G for Good moments are really, really special. And there's something that really sets G Adventures apart. All of the tours that we talked about, your transportation, and we've included travel insurance except for cancellation. G Adventures does require you to have medical insurance, and we think that interruption is really, really important, and we've included that in the package. So what's not included are flights, and I did take a look at flights yesterday. It's a bit tricky to come back from Marrakech to Charlottetown. And so we may take the train from Marrakech to Casablanca and then fly back, and we can do that the day the tour ends, essentially. There are a number of meals that aren't included, and our chief experience officer, our CEO, will help us find great local restaurants and places to eat so we can really experience the food in Morocco. And I had some amazing meals. So the estimate for this tour is that you'd need $400 or $500 for those lunches and dinners that aren't included. Gratuities, and if you want to add trip cancellation. The QR code that's there will take you straight to the tour page, and I'll send that out to you as well. But if you go on our website at stewarttravelgroup.ca, and I'll put this in the chat, stewarttravelgroup.ca/2025-Morocco. So I'll just put that link there for you now. And so next up, I want to... Let's go back to this option. Hang on, got to get us in the right. There we go. So what I'd like to know, and it'll take a few minutes, but we're at the question period for this presentation. So if you have questions, you either have to one side of me or the other. I don't know where it is, but if you're on YouTube, there's a chat. And if you're on Facebook, in the comments, and we can see all of those from all of you. So if you have questions about how this tour goes, please put them in the chat and we will answer those questions. So Anna, can you tell me a little bit about accommodations and transportation? How do we get around when we're on this tour?
Yeah, so for getting around, it's going to be like a van. It's quite a comfortable van. You'll fit quite comfortably. Because it's a small group, we don't need like a large coach or anything like that. So it'll be quite a comfortable van to get around. And in terms of accommodations, we're looking at like 3.5 to 4-star accommodations throughout the entire tour. So again, just really comfortable accommodations throughout the tour.
And breakfast is included every day?
Every day, yes.
Perfect. And I mean, for me, maybe you could talk a little bit more about Planetara and the G for Good moment. So part of the cost of this trip is a donation to Planetara for everybody that is going. And maybe you could talk a little bit about what Planetara is and, you know, why it's so important to us.
Yeah, so Planetara is essentially a nonprofit organization that's like, I always see it as like the G Adventures like little sister. So in almost every trip that we have at least one Planetara project that we support. And the idea with Planetara is like to uplift communities through travel. And it's not to just like hand out donations. We want to make sure that we're, like helping communities, either if it's, for example, in the case of Morocco, this is a project that we just simply bring our tours to have lunch in this community. And just by bringing our tours here, we're helping this community just kind of like help these women have their business be more successful. So we're not just about, asking our travelers, can you give us money so we can donate this money? It's about having a sustainable business model. This is our way of giving back. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we want to make sure that we always give back to the communities that we visit. We want to make sure our world is a little bit better wherever we visit. And this is one of the ways that we do that. So all over the world, we have projects to make sure that we're always giving back. So we want to always work with local suppliers. We always want to work with our Planeterra partners to make sure we're giving back any way that we can.
One of the other things I really like about Planeterra is the fact that there's really no overhead. That's all supported by G. And so the money that goes to Planeterra all goes directly for these projects. Something else about G Adventures that you may not know if you're watching is about, a couple of things. First, given everything that's going on in the world, I want to be very clear that G Adventures is a Canadian company, started by Bruce Poon-Tip, who recently got the Order of Canada for all of his amazing contributions to community and responsible tourism in Canada and around the world. He's made a tremendous difference. And so G is a Canadian company, and they are a trusted partner of ours. I've sent many, many folks on G Adventures trips, and this will be my first. So I'm really excited about that, and really excited to travel with G Adventures. But I think it's just really important that the values that G Adventures have, they really align with my personal values. And it's one of the reasons that we've partnered. So we've got our first question, Anna, and it is probably one that I can answer, but it's, what vaccinations do you need above the normal ones you have in Canada? And so when it comes to travel health, I guess there's a couple of things. Number one, I always recommend having your regular vaccinations, having all of those up to date. In Morocco, you don't need anything special. There's no yellow fever or anything like that you need. But whenever you're traveling abroad to a place that you're not really sure of, I always recommend you go and talk to a local travel health clinic. So here in Prince Edward Island, for example, there's a travel clinic at the Lawton's Friendly Pharmacy and at Sobeys. In Nova Scotia, there's a number, and you can Google those. But certainly that's really my best recommendation, is to make sure that you're taken care of. While we're going, we will use bottled water when we are going throughout Morocco. We usually, I don't know how G would do it, but if we have to buy it, it would be in big jugs, and we can all refill our smaller jugs, trying to really limit the amount of plastic that we use as well. But certainly drinking water would be available, and really common sense food hygiene. So washing your hands, things that should be hot are hot, things that should be cold are cold, peeling fruits, that kind of thing. And I had absolutely no issues, and I ate all sorts of places while I was in Morocco and really enjoyed it. Do you have anything to add to that, Anna?
Yeah, I would also recommend, if you can, bring a water bottle, because we try to work with hotels, with our hotel partners, whenever possible, to have a big water jug, so you can also fill your water bottles at the hotels, and then also echo what you said. Eat the hot food when it's hot, cold food when it's hot. I also had no issues getting sick in Morocco, and I ate absolutely everything. Our CEO, if you want to try street food, ask your CEO, and they'll point you to the places that are safe to eat. And if you have any concerns, just talk to your CEO.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you that, one of the things, I'm very lucky that I'm bilingual and I speak French. And many folks in Morocco speak French. And they are, over the next 5 years, I think we're going to see that shift. The official language is becoming English rather than French. And they're starting to educate their kids in English. However, right now, one of the things I was really, really lucky to be able to do is to have conversations with people that couldn't speak English with us. And we were staying at a riad in Fez, and it was an older gentleman that owned the property. And to be able to have conversations with him, he just glowed with delight and his French wasn't perfect, but we could then communicate. And he was just such a lovely human being. And so I'm really happy to help all of you with my French language skills to be able to have some local conversations. Does anyone else, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But I am really, really excited about this trip. It's going to be amazing. So because we are already within 330 days, which is when flights are available, we can start booking flights once we book you on this trip. And so yeah, if you haven't taken a look at the website, I've put the link below, and I'm not seeing any other questions come in. So with that, let me just get back here. Oops, there we go. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. There was over 25 of you on and off, and I'm sure there was more than that with the individual viewers. So thank you for spending some time with us. We are super, super excited. If you would like to speak to me about this trip, you can do that by emailing me. My email is on the screen. You can give me a call, although I will be perfectly honest that I am on the phone for 8 hours a day as a travel agent, so I'm hard to reach by phone. Or if you use that QR code in the bottom right-hand corner, you can book a time on my calendar. So any last words, Anna, about Morocco? What's one word to describe the place other than amazing?
I would say surreal.
Yeah, absolutely. For me,
you just have to go and experience it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, for me, every one of my senses was touched. It was a beautiful landscape, the smells of mint tea and spices and, all sorts of things. And the sounds were incredible. Debbie just asked about temperature, so I'll just add that in before we sign off. So I was in a t-shirt every day, short sleeves every day. I had a light sweater, like a light sweater in the evenings. If we're in the desert in the evenings, the temperature will get a little bit cooler. So having a fleece jacket or a soft shell or something, but we're talking 20s, high teens, low 20s at that time of year. And I got zero rain. So let's hope that that's the same thing that we experience. There's not a lot of rain in Morocco anyway. Wonderful. Well, thank you all for joining us. Anna, thank you for stepping in and doing this for me. Really, really appreciate it. And I hope all of you have a really great day. Take care.